Hello everybody, it's the Historical Gamer once again, and today we are returning to Victoria 3, a new grand strategy game out by Paradox Interactive, which allows you to play through the 1800s and into the early 1900s as the leader of any country in the world, or even some colonies. The game is fundamentally a game about managing resources, social groups, and building your economy up in the age of Victoria. We are playing as the nation of Mexico, and we recently defeated the United States in a war where they won almost every battle, but we managed to exhaust them through attrition and I guess just their own financial situation not being great. They did take this tiny little sliver here to the left of the Indian Territory of Oklahoma that we gave them in the peace deal, and in exchange they gave us 10% of their income via a war indemnity, which means that we are very rich for another few years. We have 17,000 income coming in per week just from the United States, giving us a lot of money. Or actually, it's 16.9 thousand. And so we are in the green, despite the fact that we are building a ton of stuff right now. We are trying to go through a building boom for Mexico. We're trying to use this period of time as an advantage or temporary advantage for us to try and exploit this windfall in cash, because we've almost filled our gold reserves up as well. We've got 1.06 million in gold. We can max out at 1.4, and so we don't want money to go to waste. We want to spend it while we have it in order to to leverage this time. Now, one of the things we've done is we've expanded our construction sector a bit. We are working on expanding some facilities. I did some talking to a few folks since the last stream, and kind of what they advised was don't build too many buildings in one city. You are better off building sort of tall rather than wide in each individual province, because like a level 10 building is so much more efficient than a level 5, or a level 20 building is better than like 2 level 10s. So if you really want to gain sort of an advantage in the marketplace, you should make your factories larger and not have as many of them. So we've kind of broken that rule in Mexico City, although it started that way. We haven't built any buildings here. Glassworks, textile mills, furniture manufacturing, we all started with all of those. But we were building, or are going to be building, an arms industry in Mexico. I may reconsider that. The only reason I haven't is I think it's the only city I have, or the only province I have, where we actually have the required workers already there. Meanwhile, we've already maxed out the port size in Veracruz, and so we are building some stuff there, although we have shortages of employees at our shipyards and at our fishing wharfs. So there's a manpower shortage in Veracruz. We do have quite a bit of immigration going on there, or migration going on there. So we're slowly increasing the population there up to about 580,000 or so. Is Puerto Rico playable in the game, Fran? I know Cuba is, because I know Wolfpack was playing as Cuba the other day. I don't know if Puerto Rico is. Like, I don't know if it's its own thing, or if it's part of, I mean, it's obviously part of Spain is right now in this era, as it's a colony, but Cuba appears to be a state unto itself, whereas Puerto Rico appears, well, no, it does say it's a state in Spain. It just doesn't have its own flag like Cuba does. So maybe? I'm not sure. You might be able to play. I can't answer that off the top of my head. I'd have to check later. But I'll ping you if I determine that it is playable. I've got to get back to it. Anyway, so we are building a whole bunch of buildings. I believe one of the things that you really should do is build a lot of resource collection, because that's kind of like unskilled labor that you can really hone in on. And a lot of like these provinces here, which have surplus peasants, some of these guys don't have a lot of surplus peasants, for me, if you will. Development stuff, you need more higher ticket people. Like you need certain classes of people. Even farms, oddly enough, require aristocrats or other things like that to run the farms. Although it does look like we have about 10,000 laborers employable. So we're short on aristocrats and clergymen. We've got a fair number of laborers for these farms. Use harvesting tools. We'll consume more tools. We'll use less laborers. It'll increase the price of tools, but we are working on building out a tool factory for us. And then I don't really know if there's like a, should you be doing fruits and other things? So like right now we just have vineyards, which means we produce some grain and some wine. Would it be better to be a citrus orchard? You'd also produce fruit and sugar. But wine is far more valuable. So I'm inclined to say no. And then we don't have the technology yet to do different types of farming. You know what? Let's increase the size of this maize farm. What do the livestock farms do? More meat, more tools. So if we start leveling up a lot of these farms and stuff like that, it's going to cost us a ton in terms of more tools are going to be needed. So we really should level up our tool factory, which we're already working on. I'd say let's do 2 of these. I'm also inclined to cut this maize farm down. I don't know that we need it, but it'll create radicals. But can we just push them into like one of the tobacco plantations or dye facilities? I don't know. I may be overbuilding in Mexico City, but I'm inclined to go with a whole bunch of iron and lead mines as well. I assume lead will be necessary for a wide variety of products, including if we want to change our glass factory over to something different. We did take the war reparations. That's why our economy is doing so well right now. We're building God knows how much stuff, but the economy is doing fairly well. Once we have iron production, I think we'll look at also changing over to iron frame buildings. Although I don't know entirely what the value of that is. Increased employment for machinists, bureaucrats, laborers, and clerks. Reduces the amount of tools, fabric, wood, and iron you're consuming in construction. Also gives you more construction and more efficiency. Okay. That's actually, I think that might be worth considering. But for now, what do we want to do here? How's Bajo's infrastructure? They're doing okay at the moment. We're gonna need railroads soon, I think. Alright, what are we building right now? Textile mill expansion and iron mines. We should also get more government administration. So we'll move that to the top of the list. I wonder if the reason it's still telling us we have a government bureaucracy shortfall is because right now our bureaucracy production is being increased by an event for petty bourgeoisie's middle managers, and that's not necessarily, that's like a temporary buff, I think. So perhaps that's why, I'm not sure. Thank you for the sub. I am Ket Payne. I appreciate it. And Lord Admiral of the Fleet, thank you for the follow. I am Ket Payne. Also, thank you for the follow. And Fran Cam, thank you for the follow. Appreciate the support. All right, so I usually play on 3 speed. We've only moved about 10 years and what are we, like 7 hours in? But we play at a fairly, you know, comfortable pace, I think. Brazilian France interest activated. Oh, Brazil's interest in France. I don't think there is Brazilian France. Yeah. No Home Affairs is disbanded. Good. Charity hospitals increasing support. We really want hospitals. We want to decrease our mortality rate to help our population. That's, I think, going to be one thing that's really going to hold us back as Mexico is we've got a fairly small population, especially for the size of the territories that we have. Hasn't really become an issue yet, but it wouldn't shock me if it becomes an issue soon. We also have another problem that we have a lot of radicals relative to our population. About just shy of, well, I don't know if just shy, but we're closing in on 900,000 radicals on a population of just over 7 million people. So that's a high percentage of radicals, which seems a little funny because we just won a political election pretty convincingly, but we also only have landowners able to vote, so that could be why. Standard of living is 77th in the world right now. It's up a bit. 11.6 is not the highest it's ever been, but it's over a full point higher than it started. GDP is at 7.1 million, which is slowly going up. Any recommendations for starter countries for newbies like Ireland and CK23? You know, I was never great at CK3, but I did enjoy Georgia as a small kingdom sort of in the northeast of the Byzantine Empire. Depending on the start date you pick in CK, that could be either non-existent or very difficult. But because you're Orthodox, I think you can usually pretty easily ally with Byzantium to kind of have them help keep you safe from neighboring Muslim kingdoms. Bigger economies are easier. Certainly in Vicky 3. Well, sort of. Oh, industrial boom. Our tooling workshop in Bajo is reporting a small production surplus in industrial goods. We should look into investing this back in the state. Boost our industries further. Oh, I mean, I'm trying to build that one up more, even more. 60 weeks away from doing that, though. Let's promote social mobility in Mexico City. Oh, we are already doing that. What about Veracruz? Veracruz is one of our larger states, I believe, population-wise, for almost 600,000. Interesting that Bajo is shrinking? Why? We're building a lot of stuff there. All right, we've got about 3 years left on our reparations from the U.S. Could be internal migration bring. That's again why I'm trying to get these charity hospitals packed. So I know there's like, in an ideal world, I would have gone with public schools. I would have gone with public hospitals. I would have kind of gone the liberal democracy route with things if the goal was to bring as much immigration into Mexico as possible, which probably would be ideal because, again, we don't have a huge population. I kind of went with where I started. So we start with a fairly conservative government. We switched over to a democracy, but it's a conservative democracy. And so because the Catholics are such a huge part of my government and my population, we've gone down sort of the church schooling route, the church hospital route, because it's what I can get more quickly. At this somewhat late stage for some of those things, I feel like. So that may result in maybe not moving as quickly on some things as others, but I am hopeful that it still makes a difference for us and helps us keep pace with other countries as they develop as well. Obviously, we're not going to be as fast in developing as states like the British Empire, which is already 30 years ahead of us in the Industrial Revolution, or even France or Prussia or the U.S. But the other minor powers, hopefully we can succeed with. It looks like Prussia has subjugated Mecklenburg-Strelitz, which is in the North German region. Yeah, okay, so just south of Denmark. I wonder if they were fighting Denmark. Was it part of Denmark before? I'm not sure. Prussia is also at war with Russia, by the way. Russia, for whatever reason, feels protective of us. But it looks like the Prussian armies are marching deep into the heart of Russia. Deep in the heart of Russia. They're approaching Smolensk by the looks of it. Oh, that's cool. You can kind of see like burned out greenery from devastation from the war. They bypassed Warsaw, which is interesting, although they could still make a drive down there. Nationalism is unlocked technology-wise. We weren't researching that, but it was spreading to us naturally. We'll take a look at tech here in a moment because we're about to finish ours. United States is damaging relations with us. We're trying to improve relations with us, and they're trying to mess with us. Postal savings are spreading. Clipper prices are rising. Okay. Once this tech research is done here for rifling, we'll take a look and see what to do next. It should be done any day now. Yeah, they already tried to... Alright, rifling is unlocked. Unlocks rifles for arms industries. Leads to repeaters. Leads to breech-loading artillery. Can I do anything with my military now that that tech has been unlocked, or do I have to actually produce that stuff? Also, how do you just like... Okay. Let's go back to tech. So if we go to military, shell gun and rifling are both unlocked, so that could lead to repeaters. That would take a while. Breech loading artillery will also take a while. Triage would cut, I assume, down on deaths. Fieldworks gives us a defensive bonus, which might be a good idea if we're going to fight the US again. We just got nationalism. Pharmaceuticals might not be a bad idea. 31 months. Postal savings are already spreading to us, so this would be faster. Increases maximum cash reserves. Leads to mutual funds. Well, I'm spending more than I'm earning at the moment, so larger gold reserves aren't an immediate concern for me. Although the cash reserves might be a business thing too. Bessemer process for steel mills would probably be a good thing. Intensive agriculture will make our farms better. Let's do intensive agriculture. Try and speed that up. We have a lot of agriculture, especially in the Rio Grande, Rio Grande. Sorry, my pronunciations, I'm sure, suck. All right. US still can't go to war with us until 1850, so... You think they want to be Sweden? Well, they're based in Sweden. So the textile mills we just expanded, right? Craftsman sewing would produce luxury goods, luxury clothes, of which we don't produce anything now. It would also cut our regular production by about 1/3, but we'd still be producing regular clothes still. It would consume less fabric, which we've had a shortage of for a while. It's been kind of a more expensive thing, but it does require us to have access to silk, which right now we do not, as far as I'm aware. Yeah, we have a shortage of people in Veracruz. We need more. Sorting most of our industry there. I don't know that that makes sense to have this textile mill here. But it's got good cash reserves. It's not anywhere close to bankruptcy, so we'll keep that as it is for now. I think there are other things that also are part of that, but rousing speech captivates the public. This afternoon, Rinaldo de Iturbide, leader of the Catholic Church, delivered a fiery speech advocating for the enactment of charity hospitals. Making an appearance before the public in Mexico City's main square, his powerful rhetoric left even his most embittered political opponents impressed. Okay, so we can either increase the chance of success by 15%, or we can increase the chance by 10%, increase his popularity, and increase the appeal of the Catholic Church. Let's just increase the chance. I don't see a need to increase the Catholic Church's popularity. There's an election coming soon, and it looks like the conservative party with the Catholic Church and landowners is likely to win. The Liberal Party has a lot of momentum with the industrialists and intelligentsia, but not anywhere near enough votes at the moment. And then the Patriot Party, I mean, they could form a coalition with the Liberal Party there, but they'd still be pretty considerably shy. So I think it's going to still be a conservative government for a while. I'm working on that small arms factory. Oh, did we actually make the smaller? No, we're still. Once we queue that small arms factory up, also we want to import more luxury goods. Or no, it's inefficient to import luxury clothes. Okay. Whatever, just keep doing it. We need the artillery and the small arms too, so we'll keep importing that from Britain. Ooh, our GDP went up by 300,000. That was kind of a little bit of a... felt like a quick spike there. We're 17th in the world in GDP. GDP per capita, though, we're 125th in the world, so not doing as well there. And the US's GDP is massively higher than ours. More than 5 times our size. Population growth is just shy 0.7%. Ours is slower. The charity hospital should help increase life expectancy. What are the benefits and drawbacks of having auto expand on buildings? I don't know if there's drawback. Like, I think the game has a decent sense of itself in terms of, you know, only expand if it's profitable and those kind of things. I do think you could over expand in some cases without intending to. Also, construction's expensive, so in my opinion, especially when you're playing a smaller capacity nation like Mexico, I think it's better to keep a close eye on that stuff. It's easy enough to manage those things. But, you know, your mileage may vary. I may have to shrink some of my construction industries a bit as well once the reparations from the US end, which it might not be a bad thing because we've had some labor issues and shortages in Mexico City itself. But you can see their construction, anytime we're building something right now, or at least when we're building 2 things, it's like 17,000 per week. The only reason we can afford that is we're getting 17,000 from the US per week. Now we've got over 1 million in gold reserves, so you could probably keep it going for a little while, but that's just something to kind of consider. What's the building queue look like? Sulfur mines in California are being produced. And then we've got the tooling workshop. Did we already complete one of its expansions? No, we haven't. We're doing 2 arms industries? One of those is in Mexico City. Are they both? No, one's over here. Is the one over here dealing with any? It is not. So let's actually do this. Let's cancel the arms industry in Mexico City. And then what we'll do is we'll have 2. We'll make this sort of our, what is this? Guerrero. This will be kind of our Mexico City, or our not Mexico City, but it'll be sort of our industrial center for arms. This sector has 1 million people, and we're not really doing much there. We're working on employing people here too. It's just taking time to fill the employers out. We just have a size 3 university here, which probably pays better. What's our literacy rate at? 32%. So it's come up about 10% recently. We're making progress there. My tools are super expensive. I may need to import. If I build more tools, I will get, well, that's the other thing, is if we build more tools domestically, it should bring the price of tools down. So we'll consume 20 iron. Right now we're not consuming any iron in our... We don't have any steel mills either, so I don't know how I'd be doing steel tools. So we'd get more, or we'd use iron instead of wood. Does the quality of the tools impact anything? Or just how many workers you have. In any event, I need to get those iron mines up and running first. Employment is an issue. This building does not have the funds to hire anyone. If they can't hire anyone, how the hell are they going to produce anything? No iron, then they won't produce anything. Now, what about for the small arms facility here? Are they going to use iron? They will. They will consume iron once they're built. They're still a ways away from being built. Overly enthusiastic partisans. Supporters of Conservative Party have gone beyond simply campaigning for their own property, harassing and sometimes physically attacking opposing parties. Yeah, we're going to crack down on them. They lose momentum, but it doesn't matter. Oh yeah, then there's demand. That's right. We have a tool factory. They should use iron. Oh, okay. They're not using it because they're doing crude tools. So if we do pig iron, then there will be demand. It does cast some lesser skilled folks out. So we need 25 iron, but that should create demand for this iron, which they are now producing at a very slow rate. But they'll get money to hire more people, and hopefully it solves its problem here before too long. No, they're producing now, though. You can see before they were producing nothing or one or something. Now they are producing. Now they do have a positive weekly balance because we didn't have an export market. So even if iron was being produced, it wasn't being sent anywhere. We're short on employees, though, because we switched to pig iron, which meant we need more capitalists. All right, conservatives get 55% of the vote, liberals 24, and patriotic party 19. I don't think we change our government at all, which still included the military. So, like, we still have the armed forces in our government, as well as the petty bourgeoisie, despite the fact that the petty bourgeoisie is insignificant clout. If we get rid of the patriotic party in our government, it increases our legitimacy because they weren't part of the ruling party. But I'd rather not do that. Does it lower our radicals, actually? Not immediately. Coalition government! Everybody's in! Okay, we'll just leave things as is for now. Did we did pass the... No, we haven't passed the healthcare law yet. Okay. All right, we're 50 shopkeepers and 450 laborers. Intensive agriculture unlocked. Good. So if we go here, go to our maize farm now, we can do soil enriching farming. We need fertilizer, which I don't believe we have any. So I need a chemical factory for fertilizer. Alternatively, we could import it from a foreign market. We do have some capacity in our convoys right now. Let's import some liquor from the French. Grain from Guatemala, I guess. Do we want to import? How do I pick what I want to import here? we've got a nice big fabric surplus, which is interesting. I don't even see fertilizer on here. Is sulfur used to make fertilizer? We did just create a sulfur mine. Chemical plants, we don't have enough to hire here. What are we short? Just a few capitalists. Let's look for a place with a decent population. So I do want to expand this into a manufacturing hub, but the goal was to do tools. California is slowly growing in our economy. Yeah, I'd rather just import it for the moment. I don't want to overbuild industry. How the hell do I do that? There's gotta be... Part of me wonders if it's because the markets that I don't have access to markets that produce it. So fabric, or do we have any fabric trade routes that we should be cutting? Or did we already cancel those? Looks like we already canceled those. No, we don't. We still have this one here. So we're bringing in a lot of fabric from France. But not much from Britain. There's no reason to keep that British trade route going, so we'll cancel that one. In any event, we just let's go to tech. All right, so technology here. What do we want to do next? We just finished intensive agriculture. 31 months in the Bremer process, 31 months on crystal glass. Alternatively, I feel like fieldworks is going to be important. We're probably going to be on the defensive against the US a lot. So we'll do that. Hey, well, welcome, Heron. Hope you enjoyed here. Cattle farms produce fertilizer. Really? Produce or well, I guess it makes sense they'd produce it. Like livestock farms, or livestock plantations, I'm assuming that's what you mean. I know I have some. I think. Oh, there we go. They produce meat and fabric. I don't see fertilizer being produced. Oh, if we do intensive grazing ranch. Reduces or consumes more grain. Produces more fabric, fertilizer, uses more, increases more farmer. All right, let's do that. I don't even remember what I needed the fertilizer for anymore. But we're producing some now. Intensive agriculture? Yeah, I think so. All right, so this will produce 10. So we'll be producing 30. If we switch this over to soil enriched farming, we need 15, so that should be good. Our laborers and clergymen aren't going to be happy we keep getting rid of some of them, but... produces considerably more grain. Did our coal mines get built yet? I don't know that they did. Oh shit. What am I doing? I just messed with stuff and I don't even know what. I didn't think we were short of employees, but now it seems like we are. Can produce men of war. We don't have a need for it because we don't have a navy right now. Why is this trade center not productive and no one is working here? Tech, meanwhile, yeah, I mean, eventually we'll go railways, but I think focusing on the U.S. is working on making us hate them. So I think field works is going to be more important for us in the short term. Why is there no one working here? I was clicking on the wrong thing, that's why. I don't see a need to have this level 1 farm in Mexico City. We also have a shortage of workers there, so. All right, Bessemer process is spreading, so we'll probably do that one next, since we'll get that faster. Rails today, rails tomorrow, rails forever. Always. All right, so we have a $1.2 almost $1 million gold reserve. The max we can have is 1.5. Seems like that keeps going up a little bit, but our GDP is growing with all the stuff that we're building, so... Well, we've got more authority. Not sure what I want to do here. Yeah, we'll work on agricultural authority here. We've got a big maize farm here. Donation of knowledge. Fausto Ruiz has offered to spend some of their personal wealth to fund the creation of a university in Bajo. This will likely give industrialists some influence. Creates one university. Do I have the manpower for it? Like, I'm happy to have a free university. Are we going to be short of people for it, though? This isn't our largest province. It does have 1 million people. But I was trying to level up the tool industry there. Got a pretty big tobacco plantation also. That's true, Twilight. Open jobs raises immigration attraction. Alright, so this tool factory is doing fairly well economically. How's the iron mine doing over here? We're a little short on employees. It's not the only place I'm building an iron mine, I don't think. Yeah. Paper's expensive, probably because of that new university. Although also the other good thing with the universities is it does increase your research, your R&D. Literacy's still ticking up, the population is still ticking up. Logging camps in California and arms industry in Guerrero. We should really build some like resource stuff in Texas. What are we lacking for logging camps? Capitalists? Goddamn, never enough capitalists. Coal or sulfur? What do we want? I guess sulfur is used in chemical plants. Let's do coal. Because we will need steel, too, to go with our... We'll need coal to go with our iron to make steel. Injured farmers. Farmers in the Rio Grande have been making appeals to the government about the dangers of the equipment they're using and would like to have some of the healthcare to reduce. Okay. Enactment chance goes up by 10. Otherwise, increased mortality. So we can either help them, or we can not help them and push this. I'll help them. I don't want mortality. Farmers. Well, capitalists, I believe, promote themselves. You don't manage pops in the direct way in this. Russian-Prussian rivalry ended. Looks like Russia and Prussia ended their war. I don't see any difference in the borders. Maybe Russia started it? Screw frigate. Unlocked. I wasn't even researching it, but that's good to know. What's the market look like now? Pretty big shortage of grain. That's not as bad because it can be substituted by others. What are you supposed to do with services? How do you increase services? Because we have a pretty big shortage there, which is going to hinder people moving up in standard of livings and things like that. Glass and Trade Center. You can't import it though, right? It's produced in an arts academy. Huh. That's interesting. The upgraded market needs glass. What are you talking about, dude? Glass is also made in a factory. Yeah, no, I've got a glass factory. Urban Center? Could do an arts academy in Mexico City. I don't know that I want to do that though. I'd rather increase the size of our textile mill. And maybe what we'd actually look at doing, so we're 1.7 positive right now. Doing clothes. We could do craftsman's sewing, which will make us a lot less profitable. Also, again, we don't have silk. So maybe not. We could import it, but I didn't see anyone in our markets who we could import from. Just the finished product. Oh, maybe we could import silk. From who? Not profitably from anyone. Spain, France, or Britain. Let's import some tanks, boys. Get them going. Is high price silk better than no silk? Not really, because if I produce what I was going to produce, it probably will make me not efficient. Like right now, I think 3 times the production of standard clothes, because it'll drop clothes by 80. So that's 80 times 8. Luxury clothes, we'd produce 80 at 50, so that would be a net gain, except we would have to pay what, 70 for silk times 4. I guess it might be worth it. It's predicting it'll hurt our bottom line pretty considerably. We do still need normal clothes. We're still producing that. Also, good news, boys. Looks like Veracruz has figured out its employment situation. How's the employment of the tool factory here going? We'll have to keep an eye on that. That's not a great setup. Okay. It was just, we just need to get the capitalists hired. That's all. Well, maybe not. Well, no, yeah, because our vacancies went back up. We need a larger amount of capitalists in this province right now. So hopefully some folks migrate to it. How's the iron mine doing? Profitable. We were producing some coal, right? Or are those mines not constructed yet? I don't even remember where they were. Oh yeah, Texas. Cash reserves aren't doing great. Get the frickin' capitalists up there. We don't have a infrastructure issue, do we? No, we're okay there. Okay. Well, we'll keep giving it some more time. Arms industry is almost done there. What else is being built? Arms industry, logging camps, wheat farms. I mean, we need to get a lot of these, like, folks who are just sitting on the land doing nothing hired. All right, everybody, we've been going for almost an hour now, so that's going to go ahead and wrap this episode up. This is basically just unlimited money and build a lot, so that was a bit of fun. We're a minor power with a relatively, well, I wouldn't say a small population. We're in the top, 20 or so population, but we don't have a ton of people for a huge industrial economy. We don't generally have a ton of money, but we were able to kind of pull this off because of the reparations from the United States. So we've got a huge building queue even still, but so far things are going pretty well, I think, as Mexico and in this series. We'll see how things play out in our next episode, though. And until then, this is the Historical Gamer, as always, saying thank you very much for watching, and until next time, I'm out.